I'm so irritated with myself right now. There's a lot of things that go on in this business. Stop trying to do this all on your own. Found somebody that knew how to do marketing. What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Kruppen, and on today's Wednesday episode, we're answering your questions again. I love these. Keep them coming. So basically how this works is you guys are tuning in to the video and you're listening over on the podcast, but you're leaving comments underneath the video so then I can respond back to you guys and I can answer you via a video. I love doing this type of video content. So please keep your questions coming. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about if a client forgets to put their dog away, can you still scoop? Will I still charge? We're also going to talk about, do I have a calculator on my website for instant quoting? Is it worth investing in a software when you're just getting started? What's one thing I wish somebody would have told me when I was getting started in this business? Some hard lessons that I had to learn. And what would I do differently if I had to start over with less? So if you're interested in hearing all about that, stay tuned. But before I hop into this, you guys, real quick, if you have not purchased your ScoopCon tickets for 2025, I have my link down below. Please click that. We are going to be in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, May 23rd and 24th. I'm going to be a guest speaker there. I'm very, very excited. There's going to be a bunch of industry leaders, a lot of your peers. We're going to have lots of great conversation. We're going to learn a lot, and it's just overall going to be a really, really good time. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, what are you waiting for? And if you have gotten it, please comment down below and let me know that you're going to see me there. I'm very excited. What will I wear? What should I wear? Probably something pink, right? And I know we're not concerned about what I'm going to wear, so let's get into this. Okay. First question, if your client forgets to put their dog away and I can't scoop, do I still charge? Well, this depends. Let's talk about our policies. So my policy is that no dogs are to be in the backyard. Here's why. I just want that to be the blanket policy. If there is a dog in the backyard that is not an aggressive dog, we will enter that property. We will go back there and we will scoop. If it is an aggressive dog, we will not. We text the homeowner when we're on the way. If they don't respond when there's an aggressive dog, then we call. If they don't answer, we knock on the door. The longest we wait is 7 minutes. And then we let them know via text message, hey, couldn't get in touch with you, going on to the next property. Usually we get a response back from them within the hour. They see it, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can you still scoop me? Here's the thing, is how I have my routing, it's so tight that if we have to go back to that house, it's like a mile or two. We're in the area. It's not like we have a super far drive. So I got no problem going back if it happens once in a while. But if it happens quite often, it's happening all the time, that I'm going to call and let the talk to the customer and let them know, like, hey, listen, we can't keep doing this every week. How are we going to rectify this? How are we going to fix this from happening? It might be something as easy as, I live alone. If you see a vehicle in the driveway, or if you don't see the vehicle in the driveway, that means I'm gone. If I don't respond, just go back there. It's not a big deal. Or, hey, I work during the day. Nobody's home. So if I don't respond, nobody's going to be there to let the dog out. Easy breezy. So you can have those conversations with your customer to find out if there is a solution if they don't respond back to you. And if there's not, you let them know, like, I'm going to have to skip your yard. And yes, I'm still charging you because when I come back, I'm still going to have to do double duty. Now, like I had said before, because my routes are so tight at this point, if I have to move somebody to the next day, it's really not a big deal because we're not really having to drive that far. And this doesn't happen quite often, so it hasn't been a huge issue for me. It's probably less than 2% of my customers where this happens. But it's just a matter of setting the expectations, letting the customer know what's going on. And if they're not okay with you skipping the yard and still charging them, then you're going to have to let that customer go if it's an aggressive dog and you don't feel safe going back there. I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question for that one. Question number 2. Do I have a calculator on my website for instant quotes? No, I do not. I know that there is a software that does Sweep and Go. They have an instant software quoting system. I don't use Sweep and Go. I use Jobber. I once upon a time used the software called Responsivid, which was a plugin for Jobber where you could set up your pricing and people could get instant quotes. I didn't love it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like how the software was set up. I didn't think that it worked for my workflow. And you guys were submitting lots and lots of bogus quotes and leads and requests and causing my software to go haywire. This guy named Joe, I know that's probably not his name, but if you put in a request and your fake name was Joe, I'm not happy with you, Joe. Like you put in 14 or 16, something like that, requests, and they were all bouncing back in my email. So every time an email would get sent out during the drip campaign, I was getting another email saying that wasn't able to deliver. And people were doing that over and over and over again. And so for me, it just wasn't worth it because I didn't have the manpower to thumb through all of that and take care of it. And it cost me a lot of money to pay my assistants to go through that, to pay my VAs. So I quit using it. I say all that to say, I'm glad I went through that because I did a deeper dive into Jobber and I realized that they have templates for their quoting. So when a request comes in, I look to see if they're in my service area. If they are, boom. Then I send them out a very easy templated quote. It doesn't take a lot of time. And before I used to think, this was my logic. I used to think that I don't want to spend a lot of time getting to know these customers. Like they're only paying me, let's say, $25 a week, $100 a month, whatever it is. I think my average ticket price was like 108 last year. I'd have to look. It's not really worth it to spend all that time. But if you take that 108, you times that by 12 and you times that by 5, I have some customers that have been with me for 5 years, 5 or plus years. That's a lot of money. That's worth a longer conversation. And so I do think that the auto quoting software is nice, but I do like to have that personal touch and have that conversation with people. I think now people are starting to pick up and realize when some messages are automated and some aren't, and their phones are blocking automated messages as spam, and people are just kind of tuning that stuff out. So when I send a message to somebody, sometimes I'll spell something wrong. Sometimes I'll just say their name in a question mark. Sometimes I'll just say something a little wacky to get a response back from them, just so I can start having that conversation and have that dialogue. And I think that personal touch has really helped because my conversion rates have been a lot better since I made some tweaks with my pricing and my communication style. And another reason of why I don't like the instant quote is because there's a lot of variables. Like there's just times where people, they select the wrong option. They just don't put the right stuff. What areas need to be scooped? They don't know the actual size of their yard. So I need to go in and like measure it to know the actual size of their yard. So yeah, it works, but maybe it's because I'm a control freak. I didn't like it. Not interested. Next question. Is it worth investing in software when you're just getting started? Yes. Yes, it is. I think that if you are getting started in business and you want this to be a real business, you don't want to be a Bucket Bob or a Scoop It Steve, fly by night guy. You want this to turn into a long lasting, profitable, respectable business that doesn't keep you up at night. I think investing in a software is not only a good idea, it's crucial for the health of your business. You could get away with it, but I don't think that is the right option because if you start developing good habits from the very beginning, you're going to set yourself up for a much easier time in business. And you can focus on things that actually matter, like getting more customers. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that go on in this business. You have to worry about, getting your branding. You have to worry about setting up your LLC, your vehicles, employees, routing, like all of this stuff. But if you don't have the customers coming in that are paying you money, you can't do any of that other stuff. So automating it, making it more organized behind the scenes so you can focus on what really matters is what's going to propel you faster. I've learned a lot over the years, trust me, and this is something I feel very strongly about. Get yourself a CRM. Quit playing games, spend the money. Quit being cheap. You're in business to make money. Quit being cheap. And this is the perfect time for me to plug Jobber. Jobber is the CRM I use to run, grow, and manage my small poopa scoopa business. I do my customer communication, my routing, my invoicing, my reports. It was even able to show me how I did last year versus how I'm doing this year and how it's doing way better this year. Hallelujah. Amen. So if you're interested in getting a 14-day free trial, click my link below. Do it. What's one thing you wish someone told you before starting this business? I don't know if I would have listened. I'm kind of hard-headed. That's something that's really tough for me. Is there's just certain things I have to go through, and I have to feel the pain to go through it to not make those mistakes again. But I guess if I had somebody tell me this and I would have listened, I would have put money into marketing, and I would have found somebody that knew how to do marketing. So I really understood how important it is to put money into advertising. I was marketing, I was doing organic content, but I grew okay, but it was just a lot of manual and physical work. So with putting that money in, that would have been a lot better. And just hiring, not trying to do everything on my own, because I had a hard time asking for help. I had a hard time trusting people. So asking for help is another one that I really wish somebody would have sat me down and held my shoulders and been like, stop trying to do this all on your own. You're burning yourself out on both ends, and you might be able to do it right now, but you're going to get to a point where you're not okay. And I got to a point where I wasn't okay. Last year was a tough year for me. Last year was a real tough year. Financially, emotionally, all of it. What would I do differently if I had to start over with less? Well, I didn't start with a lot, I'll tell you that. I started with probably just around $1,000. So I can't really say that I wouldn't do anything less, because I utilized everything that I was able to utilize. I used the free Facebook. I got the Google listing. I got the cheap marketing material. I did all of the things that I needed to do to build my business from zero to $100,000 very, very quickly. Kind of just going back to the last question, is just taking the money and using the money better. At the end of the day, allocating it in better places, not going out and buying a brand new vehicle. I'm happy that I got my new branding. I'm happy that I got the newer wraps. That looks really good, but I didn't have to go get loans on those vehicles to do so. I could have done that differently. I could have taken the money that I was spending on advertising, and I could have hired somebody to put money into advertising for me instead of trying to figure it out on my own. I'm not a Google specialist. I can't even remember my passwords half the time to get in any of my stuff. What am I out here trying to do to be like a Google specialist? That's not for me. That's not my thing. That's truly what I would have done. I would have done differently. And it's almost embarrassing thinking back and looking back on this. And it's just how silly. But that's the thing, is when you're going through it, it is so hard. It feels so hard. And then when you come out of it, I didn't have this plugged in again. I did it again. Mr. Producer, I hope that you can clean this audio up. I did this yesterday. I know this is just an abrupt stop. I recorded an entire video yesterday and didn't plug in my microphone. I'm so irritated with myself right now. Being silly, right now, this is silly mistakes. How many podcasts have I recorded? I'm on number 139, and I'm making amateur mistakes like this. This is crazy. This is craziness. But anyways, you feel silly, you feel stupid, but that's all a part of growth, because it was hard at one point. You learned the thing, you unlocked the level, and now that's easy. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to go through new hard things. And then I'm going to go through those, and then those are going to be difficult. Rinse and repeat until we die, or we sell our business, or we move on to whatever. I'm so frustrated with myself. And of course, my kid's got to be hot rodding his motorcycle right now as he's zooming around the freaking neighborhood. But it's a beautiful day. I have to go head out and scoop. Easter is one of the most important and busiest times for us because, especially like the Friday before Easter, because people are doing Easter egg hunts in their backyard. So it's like you really got to be on point when it comes to like this Easter scoop because if you miss any piles, they will be found. So it's a lot of pressure, just a lot of pressure. I appreciate you guys. Please keep leaving your questions down below. I think I'm ripping through the 5 a little bit easier and a little bit faster. So I'm going to add some more onto these episodes so the episodes could be a little bit longer. So maybe I'll be able to answer like 7 to 10 questions if they're not super deep. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And until next time, bye.